Happy Kundalini, everyone. Happy Kundalini. Center of Light Foundation. Tonight, we're going to delve deep. We're going to penetrate the subject of Kundalini. Rising. It is for me. I'm assuming I never had it happen so convincingly, but for what I know, I'm assuming that's what it is. And I want to share with you why I think that is, as well as how you can do it yourself, at least one way. But there are some cautions that come with looking into the face of God. Hello, everyone. Always a blessing to be with you. Hello, Donna Owens, Abigail, Dana. We're going to go deep. I'm going to make these little innuendos. There's a reason for it. We're going to go deep to the subject of Kundalini. Hello, beautiful Rena. Something is occurring, something is happening, and something is rising in all of us. What is that rising? It's an awakening, it's an awareness, and it's expansion into consciousness. But there is a rising nonetheless. Rising as above, so below always means rising. Energy is rising. So the energy that is rising in you, life is rising and arising in all of us, and it's called Kundalini. Life is called Kundalini. It's the creative energy, the energy. Hello, LaDonna. You are a Kundalini-er, and awakening. And it's pretty much not anything you can do about it. It's coming. I'm going to use a lot of these interchangeable words for a reason, because it's for lesson. It's about the coming together, the coming to get her, coming to get her. All these interchangeable moving parts of sexuality, the bringing forth of life energy, and also that which happens within the individual who is pursuing a life of sexuality. And I don't mean only this. Sexuality. Everything is sexual. You and I are having this dialogue. I am the male in this regard, so to speak, because I'm the one speaking and you're the ones taking in. So everything is always interchangeable in this sexual energy, synergistic energy exchange. Everything. It's always give and take, give and take, give and take. And there's relationship with your work, relationship with your children, with God. It's all this coming together of divine energy, masculine and feminine. As this Taurus turns within itself over and over and over, as Donna Owens just showed on Facebook. I hope the pictogram shows up, this emoticon of a dragon, basically the serpent eating its tail. So let me get to some bullet points. Welcome to Center of Light Foundation. Things are moving. I want to share with you something that is really grooving for me in the last often, and I have no doubt whatsoever that this is happening to you. So this is not about look at me. This is this platform saying, I just want to share with you something that's happening to me. If you're such a one, please feel sure to share that here so we can all see that as well. But to also tell and share with others who are trying to find their way. You got to get into yourself and touch yourself. You got to bring yourself to a level of zenith. You need. You can choose to spiritually masturbate. Hello, Mika Path Louise. Spiritually masturbate. What does that mean? Well, we know it's like to do it physically. But when you touch yourself spiritually, you begin to be able to manipulate a finer energy of yourself in your life, because everything in life is your partner. Hello, John Thaddeus Fuhr. And by the way, bro, we're going to get the record straight right here and right now, Mr. Fuhr. I like pineapple on my pizza. So tonight we are speaking about the movement of energy, the spice of life. The energy that moves hard, heavy, and can deeply penetrate if we only let it. I understand the circumstances have to be right. Maybe it's tonight. Look at my bullet points. Center of Light Foundation is doing wonderful. Thank you for your support. We are the tribe, we are the nation. God's face will become visible as we unite. God's face will become visible as we unite. But we have to unite first. Then when all the little moving parts called people get into alignment with their passion, sensuality, sexuality. Again, we all like the idea of what that term means, but it's not really bound to that image, though it's a large part of our lives and the lives that we create through it. That is when the well-greased divine purpose wheel will turn perpetually as the earth, on the earth as it is. Kundalini. So this is what's been happening. John is Italiano and he makes this mozzarella cheese, right? I'm doing a poor attempt at it, bro. And he's a lover of do not put pineapple on pizza. So I'm busting his balls, eh? So that's our inner joke. So my experience of what's happening Kundalini-wise, wow, that just hit me. Kundalini-wise. Kundalini, it's about the lower chakra of yourself, the highest chakra of yourself, coming to the alpha and the omega of that self. And then it begins to turn. And then the torus begins to expand. And then life energy begins to happen. I am beginning to get hot and cold. Hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. And I'm starting to itch. I'm starting to get randy, horny, excited. There's a fire in the belly, rather, a fire down below. Are you feeling this? It's okay if you are, though many pieces of doctrine might dictate otherwise. And you don't have to respond, it's rhetorical. Share if you like. It adds to the fuel, to the fire of your sharing, who you are as a phoenix rising through the Kundalini rising. It's that fire in your soul that wants to consume every living thing, to burn it, purify it, consecrate it yet again back into the divine consummation. Warning, it can be dangerous. It's coming to all of us. So if you don't heed this message, you're flirting with disaster. You will always exist, so don't worry too much. So now's the time to be grounded. This can be dangerous. It's going to be dangerous because the collective eye is opening as the fire is beginning to rise. And when these two touch points, hello Garden Gate, hello Gate of 2023, 24, 25, to the powers of 10 every year, my dear, what is coming through the gate that's going to open up the third eye so we can all actually see the truth of what we have been doing collectively, individually, but also the truth of those things we have never understood or even possibly thought can ever exist. That's what's coming through the gate. This is the relationship to schizophrenia. 2023 can be likened to schizophrenia. If you are not grounded in 2023, as in schizophrenic people are not grounded, but the eye is open and the energy is moving, heed this warning. It can get too intense that you decide to leave the earth. I'm done. I don't understand it. It's taxing me. If you are not grounded in the truth during this time, opening eye, life, energy, rising time, well, heaven or hell. Have you ever heard of the caduceus, the medical staff, right? The two snakes, DNA, the caduceus, medical staff, the two snakes, which is the double helix. You see the rod? See that little thing? That is your head. That's your beautiful knucklehead. This is your back all the way down your spine to your coccyx, which is, everything's backwards, so forgive me. To your coccyx. That's the base of your spine, that is. So, let's just throw this nugget out there. Adam and Eve, real or metaphorical? Hello, brother Louis Machi. Adam and Eve, metaphorical or literal, doesn't matter. There was one snake that did the tempting. You can blame it on the witch, the woman. The female is the most powerful energy of the universe. So she bit the apple and the fall of man began to happen. So now they were separated from God. This is no longer Adam, and this is no longer Adam and Eve. This is just Adam. So Adam broke off his chicken rib or his pork rib, gave it to Eve, to Eve as a sacrificial aspect of himself, and now they became two different aspects of God, the masculine and the feminine. So now they have to come, spell it how you like, together in this dance of Shiva and, oh my God, what's her name? Somebody help me out. What is Shiva's wife? But either way, this DNA rises to the top of the spine until it becomes angel wings. This is the same thing that's happening in the chakra system. So going over here, there is this weaving of energy that moves through the entire center alignment of the body. That's why the angel wings can be seen as or likened to when you look at pictures of Jesus, pictures of any sainted being. There's a halo. Well, back in those days, they didn't have cinematic, 1080 by 720 or 1920 by 1080. It was just a picture. But this represents the illumination of the crown chakra, the seat of the soul, which is here. But there is a warning, again, that comes attached to the awakening of the Kundalini, whether it's your choice or not. As of now, hello, Bo Rex, my beautiful brother. It's really no longer any of our choice. So this thing is beginning to get tickled or aroused, if you will. You can actually finger it and stimulate its juices, if you will. The pineal's juices, if you will. If you had your spiritual, sexual energy when you were younger, which I have no doubt you did, depending on how old you are, if this furnace in your lower belly is beginning to ignite, reignite, it could mean that your juices are coming back online. I use this play of words because it's fun. It's stimulating. As above, so below. This is the very nature as to why I'm using this description is because it hits home. It punches right into the core of the birth, the furnace, that which brings about new life. And it's arousing and it's erotic, and you could acknowledge it for yourself and all that it means or could mean. It makes you want to get up and dance, doesn't it? Simply walking into a social event, and you're not going to the social event for any other agenda except to go hang out with friends. And friends have friends, and they bring friends, people you never met. And you see John and or Jill Doe across the room, you go, make sure the other one ain't looking, right? And you go, who is that fiery in the garden creature that's stimulating my loins? We all had it. We all have it. We all will forever have it. What is that dance? And you double look over here to make sure you're not going to get in trouble and get your little hiney pecked. If that's the relationship, well, we all have it. Donna says we forget to tend to our lower chakras. John says, son of a bitch, is that what's going on? So, I didn't ask to go to this party to have this sexual, sensual, dynamic, unintentional exchange with this person I've never met, but obviously I know them because what happened at this party when I saw them and they saw me is familiar to me. It happened. That's why the exchange happens. It's like, boom, what is that? That's an aspect of yourself that it took that person to mirror to ourselves to be in that experience. Tonight we're speaking about Kundalini rising. I'm going to take a really short break. I'm going to come right back. I want to give you some things that are happening with me with Swamji. Who is Swamji? Well, the Lord on the earth. I'm going to be right back with that. And then we're going to go into some audio bites, some pretty picture images with some teachers who are going to share with us the benefits of Kundalini, why you always should be interested in it, but you must always be careful. The power that is contained and found within awakening these centers of yourself. Because as with 2023, the pineal and the Kundalini, as this all begins to open up and rise, what comes through the gate of God, even in your own spiritual awakening, and the gate of 2023, is going to be God. Well, what does that look like? Love, light, and beautiful things? Well, absolutely it does. Caution yourself. Take God out of the universal equation, nothing exists. There is the reality of God, and there's another level of God that is the illusion created by us. That which we don't understand, the ooh-ah-ah monkey, distorted, ignorant mind paints its own fearful-based ideas upon it. Meeting an angel, a divine angel for the first time can be scary. Until you realize there's no reason to be afraid. Likewise, the door is open. Let's just go straight into Sadhguru. Here we go.
You'll have to explain what Kundalini is.
So Kundalini is...
So what is Kundalini? Right now, I am speaking. This is Kundalini. You are alert and listening. If you are alert and listening, that is Kundalini. A flower is blossoming, that is Kundalini. A dog is barking, that is also Kundalini. Or in other words, the fundamental life force in the existence, we call it Kundalini. Now, within the system, within the human system, if you look at this as a kind of a life package, it's a piece of life. This piece of life is packed in a certain way with layers of this energy. One dimension of energy comes alive immediately because that is necessary for your survival process. The other dimensions of energy will not come alive unless you do something about it. Unless you're aware of it and activate it in a certain way, they do not come into existence. They remain dormant. The dormant energy is way bigger than the energy that is in use right now. To take care of your survival process, to live a physical life completely, to live a complete physical and intellectual life, you need to activate only about 21 of your chakras. Out of this 114, if about 21 of them are on, you will live a complete life. You will not feel any inadequacy. You will live a complete physical life. There'll be no problem with your life. You will think you're a great success, but you're only 21. That is less than 21% out of 114. Less than 20%. At less than 20%, you will feel like a complete life without any inadequacies. The remaining percentage of life, what is it about? It is not even needed if your intention is just to live well. If you activate this dimension of energy, other dimensions of life will open up. One thing is, are you ready for those dimensions? The question is not about whether it's good or bad. The question is just about, are you ready for it? Because even if the best things in life come to your life, when you are not ready for it, it will not be a good thing for you. In your experience, it will not be a good thing if something came to you when you're not ready for it, isn't it so? Even if it's the greatest thing, it may be the greatest thing, but it came to you when you are not ready for it, then it is not a good thing, isn't it? So are you ready for it is the first question. If you're ready for it, what can we do for it? What can we do to activate? There are various ways of doing this, many ways, but the Kundalini Yoga, are people familiar with Kundalini Yoga, practicing or… okay. Kundalini Yoga, I'm not making a comment about anybody, okay? Kundalini Yoga in its essence is the most dangerous form of yoga. I'm saying dangerous because it's the most potent also. What is most potent is always the most dangerous, if improperly handled. There are various kinds of energy in the world right now. Even the electricity is being manufactured produced in so many different ways. One of the ways that we do it is through nuclear reactions, nuclear reactors rather. It is the most efficient way of producing energy that we know right now, but it is also the most dangerous way, isn't it? When things go wrong, they go seriously wrong. When they're going right, it is the easiest and the best way to produce energy on the planet is nuclear energy actually. But when it goes bad really bad, like in ways that you can't fix it. So similarly with Kundalini Yoga, it is the most potent and it is the most dangerous. Without the necessary preparation and guidance, without expert guidance, constant guidance and observation, nobody should ever attempt it. But the problem is, books have been written about it and everybody wants to do the highest yoga. Nobody wants to start with A, everybody wants to start the alphabet with Z. This attitude itself is dangerous. What can be a life-transforming force can become a life-destructive force simply because without the necessary commitment and dedication and focus and understanding, it is being handled. Anyway, about rising the Kundalini. If the Kundalini rises, the dimensions of your life will change so rapidly that you must be willing to make the outside adjustments equally. quick, otherwise things will fall apart in a big way. In the classical yogic traditions, there is a certain type of yoga we teach for people who live in family situations. There is a certain other type of yoga we teach for ascetics. In Isha we have both the forms. We have ascetic yoga and we have the general yoga. We will never teach you the ascetic form. That is the most potent way to do it. But it will demand a certain dimension of discipline and focus which your regular lives will not allow. If you do that kind of yoga, it will dismantle your outside life instantly. Now this yoga is not designed to dismantle your life, this yoga is designed to make your life happen better. When life happens better, when things happen better, you make more money, your business is going better, your profession is happening better, your generally, unfortunately, your longing to seek the higher becomes slower. Yes? So in the real sense, it is not the good way to do it, but it's the only way it works in today's world. And it's the only way it works for majority of the people. For a small number of people, we can do it other ways. We can bypass all these things and just do very powerful ways of doing things. But it will dismantle all social structures around them, which is not good for everybody to do. So these are different dimensions. Kundalini yoga, if it has to be practiced, you must be in a certain kind of atmosphere. You cannot live in social situations and do Kundalini yoga. Otherwise, in the name of Kundalini yoga, you're doing something simplistic. Otherwise, Kundalini yoga can transform the way you are within days. Suddenly you find you are a stranger in your own home within 2 days of practice, because it will change everything about you. So can we raise the Kundalini? Yes, we can. One way is to create a conducive atmosphere so that slowly it rises. The other way is to provoke it in such a way that it raises quickly. If it rises quickly, then everything changes dramatically. If it rises slowly over a period of time, changes will happen slowly, you will be capable of handling these changes over a period of time. But if it happens very quick, then you will not be able to handle the changes. Things will look like things are falling apart. So there are different ways of doing this. How many ways? There are too many ways. I will not go into how many ways. There are so many ways of doing it. Essentially, there are 112 ways of doing it. There are 112 ways in which you can take this up. From the base to… oh, for this you have to know the structure, otherwise it'll become very elaborate. Out of these 114 chakras, there are 7 which we recognize as 7 dimensions. Out of this, 6 are within the body, 1 just outside the physical body. So if you employ these 112 methods, you will handle the 6th chakras. The 7th one you cannot handle. There are 112 ways in which you can attain to a chakra which we refer to as Agna. But from Agna to Sahasrara, there is no way. There is no way to do it. You just have to jump into an abyss. If you have to jump into an abyss, you should be insane, or you should have enormous trust in somebody. Somebody says jump, and you are jumping because you have such a deep trust in somebody that when he says jump, it has to be good for you. You simply jump into a bottomless pit. So, the journey from the Mooladhara to Agna, there are 112 ways to get there. But from there to there is no way. It is just one jump that can happen in trust, in devotion or in madness. Choice is yours.
Welcome back to Center of Light. Good to see you tonight, Center of Light Foundation. We're speaking about Kundalini, rising. in the house of the rising sun. The rising sun, that is the Christ. You. We are Christians, we are Buddhists, we are followers, integrators of truth, no matter how it looks. Sadhguru, be careful when you open that door. You can't really stop it anyway. The door is now open. So it's most important that you learn how to ground yourself. How do you ground yourself? Sexually, you can. It's an earthly act. The most intense earthly act. So through sex, via sex, you can ground yourself. And after you have sex, you go walk on the ground outside in the mud, stomp in the mud if you have to, with no shoes on. You do all these things that represent being of the earth. This is how you ground yourself. But also, grounding yourself means surround yourself with people of like minds and like hearts. Do your research, your inner research, but most important in this regard that gets surpassed, believe it or not, inner research is do your outer research. Because there's lots of stories that have been told since the beginning of writ word up. Lots of mixed bags of tricks, and it's all trickery. But once you get to doing your researching, and you're perusing, and you're browsing, a code of conduct, a way of seeing what is true will simply appear. And no one can tell you what that looks like. You just have to want it. What is that? You have to want to raise your Kundalini into awakening. And like Sadhguru said, you definitely want to do it slow by nature. Because if you get, let's say you've taken pilot lessons, you know how to fly the plane, now you got to fly the plane. Or you know a little bit about aviation, and the pilot dies, and you're in a Cessna plane, you have no choice but to drive it. It can be overwhelming. Overwhelming means what's coming through that gate is going to be pretty intense. So tonight's presentation was inspired by something that's been happening to me for quite a while, couple of weeks, 3 weeks. Hello, Laura. But more so in the last few days. And I want to go to that segment with you now. We are basically walking nuclear explosions. I want to show you something. What I have been doing, which is always suggested, no matter what your deity is, your grandmother, that which means all that is important, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, it doesn't matter what it is, it all pales in comparison, and it all gets burnt away when we just look at simply for ourselves what is the most powerful and what is the most important. That being said, for me, in the last few days, week, I've been in what I would call a space of hibernation. Me under the covers, me with my present day Lord. Doesn't have to be yours, but I'm asking you just to gaze into this experience of Swamji Visvayogi on the earth today. I am a disciple of, we're all disciples of. It's the same energy, manifested in a different way. But as you look into this energy, whether you know it or not, there's nothing you can do about it. You're already experiencing divine glory. And if you are an empath, that's for sure, or at least open to the idea, or even not, I have no doubt that you're receiving the Shakti pot and feeling that. There is a level of divine depth to that photograph. And I don't mean the picture. Though that picture is a static image, it is of a living consciousness of the highest reality there is. So the point is, there's absolutely no way you are not being affected. And your Kundalini begins to rise to a stopping point or starting point. To have a divine, loving, everlasting, eternal relationship with your divine lover. You can use Jesus. You can use something that just means the absolute creation of everything for you. And you stay with it, because in that energy is a reflection to you that I don't want to stop loving you. That loving you would be the ice cream cone, the Jesus picture, the Swamiji picture, the picture of your partner you lost. My condolences. It brings it all home. It brings it all together. It all comes together. So I've been looking at this picture with Swamiji, while listening to this mantra, Om Sri Sai Ram Gurudeva Datta, which is the vibration of which Jesus, God, the Christ, period, exclamation point, vibrates on. I recognize you as the Supreme Divine Lord of the universe. Om Sri Sai Ram Gurudeva Datta, as I stare, gaze, lose what I know as me into the beauty, power, and truth of this divine incarnation. So now let me share you what that's been doing to me, through me, with me, for me, that I can now share with you. And Andrea says, itching, as you say. Yeah, there's an itching, not only physically, but I have an itching for something. It's stimulating me, and I want to scratch the itch. The experience I had 4 days ago with Sathya Sai Baba in a dream. He said, just be here with me, Keith. Stop trying to worship me. A few days ago, I had a dream with Sathya Sai Baba underground, and I'm going into genuflection, but he says, Keith, stop all that. Right now, just hang out with me, be present with me. There's times when you need to genuflect and humble yourself to the divinity that you're trying to achieve through your humiliation. You're being humble. Right now, just stop it, be present. He was trying to activate my Kundalini to see my whole worth. He suppressed a lot of my thoughts. Not because my thoughts were not important. They were just not important that moment. Day before yesterday, I had that experience with Swamiji, the man I just showed you with the green. It's referenced in a video I did a few days ago called The God Code. That morning when I did that video, I had a very big bang. Well, yesterday I did this exercise of exciting Swamiji by looking at his picture and listening to the mantra of Om Sri Sai Ram Gurudeva Datta, and on top of that doing it myself. He told me that morning, Keith, today a good bunch of money's coming to you. Later that day, out of nowhere, I get a text from someone giving me a $1,500 money gift. So when I did that last link up with Swamiji yesterday, in the looking at his picture, falling into nothing, which is everything, and the power that simply lies in that is that, I got a message. Keith, go look at this video of the God Code. I just did. As soon as I did, the video was 1 hour and 11 minutes long. And so my time with Swamiji was 1 hour and 11 minutes. So these numbers begin to line up, and everywhere in this video were ones, 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 ones. So what does all this mean for me in my time with Baba and Swamiji? And these synchronations of ones. I know it sounds spiritual, woo-ish. I get it. If you know what it's like to go into the cave of yourself in prayer and meditation and stay steadfast, fixed, focused on Jesus, Buddha, the highest good, summum bonum for everyone, and you're in that place, when you're spoken to, you know it. You simply know it, in and out, without a doubt. And so my time with Swamiji, of looking into the vastness of this infinity, he's not a soul. Swamiji is not a soul. The soul of Swamiji is for our benefit. That's not what Swamiji is. That's not what Jesus became. That's not what Baba is. It's not what universal consciousness is. It's about tapping into that, which it will raise the energy in you. And you will feel like you want to procreate, because that's what God is. God is the creator. But as the progenitives, we want to procreate. So the pro is create. Be yourself and create your beautiful, sexy, human life. And as I look deeper into my heart to see the reflection that I'm using as the excuse of Swamiji, I am beginning to realize that neither one of those exist. This is the integration that is happening for all of us in this period. All of us. The Kundalini is rising, it's awakening. If you don't ground yourself, it's going to be too intense for you. Ground yourself. Surround yourself. Compound yourself with people who are wanting joy, bliss, peace, nirvana, unity, and all that wonderful stuff. Everything else is fluff, and it will cause gruff. It'll be rough and tough. So you have the base of the spine moving its way through the entire center of your system. It wants to move to the crown chakra. But before it can get to the crown chakra, we have to remember it goes through the brow chakra. And what we have in the mind, there's lots of stuff in the mind, it will shroud and crowd the truth of the Kundalini's intention in the first place. The God fire that lives in your heart, your sacred, beautiful heart. Heed my words. Start opening up your heart, your mind, everything about you. Because Kundalini is life. Life has always been happening. But life, as it's coming, that can no longer be ignored in or denied, will be your groom or your bride. Become conscious of your divine love. Or where is that song? I'm gonna find it. Either way, 2v1, be right back. Tonight is Kundalini rising. Are you rising to the occasion? Are you? What is the occasion? Yours looks different than mine, very different. But the sameness is the thread that intertwines the goal, which is joy for myself, yourself, and everyone else that we can affect in a good way. To be a positive, it's not only about being positive and or please don't be negative. It transcends all that. But positive seems to be the stepping stone to launch us to our very own self, which is the master, which transcends duality itself. That is the Christ principle. That is who we are in the essence. We'll be right back. Stick around.
making one of 100 million pieces, making one of each and every heart, giving one love like you really mean it, seeing one in each other every day. Loving one is how to get to heaven. Sharing one, the love that you are. Hearing one, that little voice inside. Being one with all the people. Teaching one all the children about love. Lives to make a difference, caring for one who really needs a friend, opening one to truth that they see, lifting one to dwell in the kingdom, dwell in the sending one only thoughts of happiness, receiving one love that's your gift. Think as one ends the separation. Being one saves the world. Teaching one all the children about love. Causing one to feel peace too, and that's the way. That's the way. Teaching one all the children about love. Finding one your own peaceful heart. Cause the world to feel peace too, and that's the way.
Welcome back to Center of Light. Good to see you tonight. We've been speaking about Kundalini rising. Are you feeling that rumbling down there? Is that furnace coming back online? It's possible that you can explore it to see what dynamic it may have for you. It's beautiful. It belongs to you. It's your juice. It's your jizz. It's your life. It is your biz. Why not make it juicy? Are you entertaining making love to that which is beautiful to you? There are boundaries? Why do we need boundaries? What boundaries are necessary? We call boundaries, basically, we blame our unconscious choices from times in the past as to why I now have to set boundaries. So I'm going to set boundaries because of the poor choices I made in the past. You type of people can't come in. You can't come in. But if you know exactly who you are and you're fully blown lit, you get jiggy with it, you don't need boundaries because you don't attract nor try to falsify to yourself that you need protection. Protection automatically implies a protecting from a something. Chew on that. My time with Swamiji before I leave this final segment. Thank you very much for joining. My time with Swamiji recently, doing Shaktipat, Diksha, staring at a picture of Jesus, whatever, whoever, why ever, forever, whenever, I begin to shift. I found myself lost. Keith no longer existed. All that existed was my lamenting and my lovely, beautiful mess crying to this idea, possibility of what could save my soul as an excuse. Beautiful one it was and still is. I was bawling my eyes out in beautiful joy, snotting from the nose. Went from thorns to smelling a beautiful rose. And it looks like me when I look in the mirror. And it looks like you, ever so dear, when you do the same. I could feel him, literally feel his physical presence, even though it was in the ethers or astrals or causal. I could feel him, literally. Are you feeling your deity, be it life itself, to a level of such density that you can feel it? You empath you. Can you feel it? Can you spin it? Can you wield it? Can you win it? You can. You know how I know that? Because I'm doing it. And I'm the guy next door that came over yesterday. Can I borrow a cup of sugar from you? Well, that cup of sugar is something that's sweet to eat. Be careful. Really, you have no choice. Be careful. The gate of 2023 is open. Powers of 10, 2024. Powers of 10, 2025. It doesn't mean bad things are coming through the gate. But let's use that term because we understand bad things are coming through the gate. Bad things are coming through the gate. Good things are coming through the gate. What does that mean? Everything is going to blindside you, or you're going to simply see. Either way, blind, it will be presented in such a way that you have no choice but to see it. It's better to see and make change than to have change make you see. See my point? We have no idea of the political assessment, the conspiracy theories, all that. It's coming hard. It's supposed to come hard because there'd be no reason for it to come hard if we already understood how it's going to penetrate all of our lives. It'll seem like rape or incest or all these different terms that we can use to seem like a violation. Or it could be a graduation. And depending, as Andre says, discernment is everything. Are you looking at a 6 or a 9? What? I'm looking at this one and you're looking at that one. But together, 6 and 9, as Tesla said, the universal numbers that creates magic miracles and everything in existence is 369. So 6 and 9 is a 6. Because 9 is automatically 0. 9 added to anything is automatically 0 because if you have 6 and 9, it's 15. So you add 1 and 5 together, which is 6. So the 9 is exempt. 9 is the divine number. It's the fire, it's the life, it's the Kundalini, it's the rising, which is, there is no number higher than 9. Well, Keith, isn't there 10, 11, 12, 13? No, there is not. There are different configurations and modalities of 9, but 9 is the ultimate highest number. It's the divine number. It represents unity, if you're in a relationship with a love partner, or completion. The snake swallows its tail. Hence the Kundalini goes from the base of the spine to the top of the head, and then it repeats itself in the torus that's forever expanding. We have the chance, the opportunity to expand. You need help, not that you're broken. Guidance of how to stay planted when times or reality may get wonky. Contact me. That's all you gotta do. I love what I do, and what I love most is you. Tonight we've been speaking about Kundalini rising. What is the Kundalini that's rising? It's not a thing, it's you. You are rising. The question simply becomes, brother or sister, Mrs. or Mr., are you rising to the occasion? If you don't, you will sink into abrasion, and it's not going to be very fun. That dark night of the soul that you've experienced many years ago, that you finally won, is going to repeat itself. I'm loving you. The Kundalini of the soul collective consciousness is lifting, or it could be drifting, depending on who you are. You are the rock star. Love you beyond measure.